This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery, as well as an option for the same for folks living in the Portland, Oregon area. And of course, for those of us living outside those two places, there's easewellness.com, where you can get professionally curated hemp-derived CBD products via the mail in 44 U.S. states. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Tuesday, June 18th, 2019, and you're tuned in to episode 745 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Jay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Ben Adlin over at Leafly grabs today's top spot with an in-depth look at the situation in Washington state over how its legal marijuana testing system is running. Or I guess I should say not running, as Ben details how Washington has dropped the ball in implementing a meaningful testing protocol with spotty enforcement and lax requirements, a hallmark of the system. A bill was passed in the state legislature this year to rebuild Washington's marijuana testing program, and a public hearing is scheduled on the matter for June 25th in Olympia. Click over to Ben's story to find details for that meeting and for the rest of this story, as this is absolutely an industry-wide issue that we all need to get right. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com. Earlier this month, a congressional committee chair wrote a letter to e-cigarette maker JUUL requesting a number of documents as part of an investigation the committee is running into the use of e-cigarettes by underage consumers. Representative Raja Krishnamurthy of Illinois, chair of the House Subcommittee on Economic and Consumer Policy, requested from JUUL documents pertaining to how the company has marketed its products, as well as results from clinical trials. The hook that landed this one in our news today is the request of all documents pertaining to partnerships with the Canadian marijuana company Cronos Group. Both JUUL and the Cronos Group were on the receiving ends of multi-billion-dollar investments from tobacco giant Altria back in December, which is the most likely connecting factor there. JUUL is also a direct corporate spin-off from the cannabis company PAX, an important storyline to be on top of. Our final top story today brings us out to California, where a proposed plan would give legal marijuana businesses with temporary or provisional licenses 5 more years to secure permanent licensing. Regular listeners should remember the storyline of California and the trouble it's been having with the transition into a new legal system put in place by Proposition 64. Right now, there are 2,751 holders of temporary or provisional retail licenses versus just 39 fully licensed shops, while among growers, it's nearly as bad, with 1,532 temporary or provisional licenses against 208 fully licensed cultivators. The plan to add 5 years is rolled up in proposed legislation and is being criticized by environmental groups who say it will allow cannabis farmers to delay coming into compliance with environmental regulations. Another good one to read in full, as this issue is about as complex as they get. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz it on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery, as well as an option for the same for folks living in the Portland, Oregon area. Swing over to ease.com and check out today's awesome daily deal, which gives you 25% off the cost of select products from Old Pal, known for its affordable flower and vape cartridges. Just use the discount code OLDPAL, all one word there, to cut a quarter of the cost off picks like Old Pal's $50 half ounces and $15 half gram vape carts. And you can keep scrolling down from there to check out all the other legal adult use products up for order, all of which land at your door in less than an hour, assuming you live in a part of California or Portland, Oregon, where ease.com is active. And easewellness.com is there for professionally curated hemp-derived CBD via mail delivery in 44 U.S. states. All right, time for the blitz. Marijuana technology company MJ Freeway has completed a merger with the company MTech to form Akerna, a new cannabis corporation traded on the NASDAQ stock exchange under the symbol KERN, or K-E-R-N. MJ Freeway CEO Jessica Billingsley will lead the new company and is the first female chief executive to take a legal cannabis company public on the NASDAQ. Kyle Yeager over Marijuana Moment continues to be all over the storyline of the growth of the movement to legalize psychedelic drugs. The nascent movement has gotten some traction recently as Oakland passed a resolution to decriminalize plant-based psychedelics, which has set off a flurry of interest from activists all over the country. It's just as stupid to put someone in jail for eating a mushroom as it is to put them in jail for smoking pot. So this is a good storyline to watch and to fight for. Randy Drusen over at Leafly took a good look at the world of cannabis-infused beverages, which is anticipated to be one of the more lucrative marijuana market verticals, just as soon as a few key issues are hammered out, mainly that cannabis-infused drinks tend to taste awful and can take a while to kick in. But at the same time, the potential market is so enormous, as we do like to drink things when we hang out with our friends, and the science of marijuana infusion so new, there's plenty of good reason to hope that those technical issues will be worked out in some lab somewhere, probably up in Canada. Another one I'd add to the list to read today. Marijuana dispensaries in Pebble Beach, California are reporting a stout uptick in traffic that they are attributing to the U.S. Open, a large golf tournament taking place in town. Dispensary workers say that golfers tend to favor vape pens, which can be easily deployed out on the links. Another golf-related headline jumps into today's show as PGA senior tour golfer Scott McCarron told Vail Daily that not only does he rely on using CBD products to treat himself while on tour, but that lots of other fellow golfers do as well, saying, quote, "I think we've got nearly 50 guys on the Champions Tour using CBD oil," unquote. McCarron seemed to be pitching the products of one particular Colorado-based CBD manufacturer in the articles, so you got to take his effusive praise with a grain of salt, but I think it still stands as a pointer to the popularity of CBD among the golf set. An amendment was just introduced into the U.S. Congress to protect state legal adult use marijuana from federal prosecution, similar to the ways that medical cannabis is protected. The amendment was attached to a spending bill for the fiscal year 2020, so if approved, it would only last for the year. It goes before the House Rules Committee today. Kimberly Lawson over at Marijuana Moments picked up on a new study that shows that living near a legal marijuana dispensary does not appear to change the way that teenagers think about cannabis. One of the more tired arguments thrown around by cannabis prohibitionists is that allowing adults to purchase legal marijuana will somehow corrupt the minds of young people who will think that it's okay that they start using it too. And just like every other concern raised by prohibitionists, the science seemed to indicate that they are wrong. In this case, researchers at Colorado State University Pueblo looked at data from Denver showing how teens think about marijuana from back in 2013, before legal adult use marijuana, and compared those numbers to the year 2015, a year after legal sales. What they found is that living near a dispensary affected the way kids thought about marijuana in no discernible way. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Ease, and to all of our awesome Patreon listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the lesser ranks of the Patreon listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.